Okay, so we are going to start with a nice little baby cobra pose. Just breathing deeply. Then stretching the neck side to side, chin to chest, looking up, back and forth. Just really try to relax at the shoulders. We're going to transition to a puppy dog, almost like a child's pose. A couple more deep breaths. And transitioning to a high plank, opposite knee to opposite elbow. Essentially like a mountain climber, just a little variation. Now we're going to get into a V-sit position. Really just rounding the spine here. Grab a hold behind the knees and thighs. Breathe really, really deep. Exhale as you round your spine back. Inhale as you lift up. Really, really good stretch, especially if you've been sitting all day. Just really tighten in the spine. Okay, now we are transitioning to the first part of our workout. So we're starting that V-sit position and just basically squeezing our shoulder blades as our arms go back. Exhaling, inhaling, and repeating. Then we're going right into kind of like a butterfly stretch here, rounding the spine forward. Deep breaths. Good. About one more deep breath here. And then we're going to start taking the arms up, really opening up the side part of the body right near the hip and some of the rib cage. Good. Round the shoulders back so nice and tall. And then we're going to do one more spinal stretch. I like to bend the knees here, mainly because hamstrings are tight, but then I'll kind of straighten out one leg, move the feet back and forth. This is just kind of make this what you need it to be. And then now we are moving to our workout. We're going to get in tabletop position for our Pilates 100 pose. With your breath cycles, try to do 5 arm pumps per inhale, 5 per exhale. Here's a little more difficult variation depending on your hamstring range of motion, and then an even more difficult position going down to about 45 degrees. You'll notice a lot more abdominal pressure and low back. So just to take it off, bring the knees to chest, rest the head back, take a couple deep breaths. And then now we're moving to some straight leg baby crunches. You are really, really exhaling forcefully as you come up, lowering slowly back down to the mat. And then from here, we are going to take our legs kind of closer to a 45-degree angle and then lifting back up. So here you want to really brace your abs into the spine, or essentially into the mat, so that your low back does not arch during the movement. A little harder variation here is bringing a baby crunch as the legs come up. If that is too advanced, just stick with one of the previous positions. Bring the knees to chest here, and then now we're going to move to a single leg bent knee stretch. Head up. Just give a little nice double exhale every time the knee comes towards your chest, and then inhale as you alternate. Again, getting back into tabletop position, and now we're doing a nice crisscross or bicycle crunch. Keep breathing deep. Abs are probably burning. Again, make sure that you are doing more reps. You might need to pause the video here or just repeat and come back per section. And just now, let's just open up the hips, 3-4 circles each way. And now we are rolling like a ball, a very classic Pilates movement, just to open up the spine. Takes a little bit of balance and coordination once you get to this top position here. And just relax. Now we're doing a double leg stretch. A little bit more of a, I would say, intermediate exercise here. Again, paying attention to the abs and low back as the legs and arms go out in this case. And then we're going to move right into a Pilates bridge. A little different than your typical bridge, as you'll be going up very slow. Almost think about bringing one vertebrae off the mat at a time and then putting one vertebrae back down at a time as you lower your hips back to the mat. Just focus on your breath, being nice and consistent here. We got one more, and then we will be moving to a single leg bridge. One leg will go straight out, opposite leg will be our movement leg. Try to get your hips up to a complete top hip extension position. Really push through those last couple inches as your hips lift up. And of course, we're going to switch legs here. Good. Now we are moving to a straight leg hamstring stretch. Take 2 hands behind one thigh or knee. Take 2 exhales every time you transition the knee towards the chest, and an inhale as you transition to the next leg. Really work on a strong pull each and every time. Brace those abs into your spine whilst doing the movement. And relax back down. Now take your legs straight up in the air. We're going to do a nice little figure 8. Every time the hips come back to where you'd be basically in a neutral position, you are lifting the hips up. Use your glutes, use your abs. This one can be a bit difficult. You may just need to do the figure 8 pattern up front, or you might just need to do the hip lift. Do what you need to and just breathe through it. A nice little overhead stretch here, then lie back. We're going to do a spinal stretch here. First, just take the hands behind the head, then you're going to lift up. This will prepare us for our next movement, but first just grab anywhere from behind the toes, the feet, or just grab the ankle shin area and just breathe through. Sit up nice and tall, and then lie back. We are going into our seesaw movement, which is very similar to a roll up. So the hands, once the hands tap behind you, you immediately lift up, try to keep a straight spine, really slowly lower back. You are taking an opposite hand to an opposite foot, trying to get to the outside of that shin or ankle every single movement. Take one deep breath in here, and then we will transition into a side plank and get to your left or right side. Stagger your top foot, and we are doing a nice twist. If this is too difficult for you, you can drop down to a knee, or you can just stay in a side plank position. If you see, I just put my top foot on top of the other. That will make it just a little bit more difficult. Yeah, we're doing 8 each side on this movement, transitioning over to the other side. Start with the staggered position if you need to. Some other points here. I like to exhale as the arm goes under, inhale as the arm goes up, and just squeeze those glutes and abs very tight, especially that bottom glute close to the mat. Now we're going to transition back to our left side here. Get into the same side plank position, but now all we're going to do is tap behind our bottom left leg and in front of it, side to side. This can be very challenging. Again, might need to just stay in a side plank position. Transition over to the other side. And just be as controlled as you can be. This top leg moving, you want to control with your hip, your glute muscles. Just try to stay as stable in the body outside of that leg moving. Okay, back to our left side plank. This time we're going to take our right elbow to our right knee in a nice little like side oblique crunch. This can be, this is definitely the most challenging of the three here. You may just want to do the arm movement, or a little bit more importantly, just the leg movement if you're having a little bit too trouble in balancing, or if it's just too challenging of a movement in general. And then of course we're switching to the other side. As you can see, I took a little pause there. I remember just needing to gather myself as I was starting to get a little bit fatigued going through the workout, as you may be also. Then we're going to immediately flip into a plank position and do some hand taps out in front of us. Try to sway side to side as little as possible. A little is okay. You can also bring your feet together so that it makes it just a little bit more challenging, and you have to tighten up in the abs and glutes even more in this position. Now we're going right into a side to side hip drop, and then a left-right leg lift back and forth. And I'm transitioning quickly here. You can always come back to the section, repeat it 2 or 3 times. With this one, you want to keep your toes pointed down as much as possible. Now we're going to lay our stomach all the way down. We're going to lift our hips up, our legs up, and our upper chest. And we're just going to basically spread the legs just a little bit as those elbows come back. You should feel very prominent in the mid to upper back in this movement. It's a great finisher. Work on the back muscles.